Messi is no longer a Barcelona player. Let that sink in for a moment. You see, Messi has been with Barcelona for 21 trophy-laden years. He has won everything that is there to be won at club level. He is the top goal scorer in Barcelona's history, and also the person who has made the most appearances for Barcelona. In essence, Barcelona was Messi and Messi was Barcelona. But he's no longer their player. He's now a PSG player. And upon moving to PSG, 48 hours later, they had gained 5 million Instagram followers. How about that for social media pool? But as soon as Messi left Nou Camp, the Nou Camp management embarked on their first activity in post-Messi era to bring down his images that were plastered around Nou Camp. And that tells you that one day you shall leave, and when you leave, life shall go on. Like it has been for Barcelona. Life has moved on. His images have been brought down. Yet, he was a faithful servant for 21 years, since he was a 13-year-old. As we focused in the last session, in the last part of this leadership reflection from Tokyo 2020 series, we talked about passing the baton. And passing the baton is all about succession. And succession is the effective transfer of your vision, your work ethic, your character, your values to the next generation. It is passing over things that are not subject to decay. You see, many people mistake succession for inheritance. So we work so hard so that we can live and build empires, so that we can leave these empires to our children. That is not succession. That is inheritance. Inheritance is passing over things. Succession is passing over values, character, ethos, work ethic, things that are not subject to decay. See, my friends, while it is good to leave things to your children, the most important thing is what you leave in your children. What you leave to your children pales in comparison to what you leave in your children. If you leave enough in your children, it doesn't matter what you leave to them. But if you don't leave enough in them, it matters little what you leave to them. We have seen many cases where parents built empires and handed the empire over to their children, but a year later the estate had been wasted. Why? They spent so much time living and working so hard to leave things to their children, but spent not nearly enough time investing in their children. Ultimately, the most important thing that you can do to the next generation is to leave enough in them. Like Messi, one day you will exit from your leadership position. One day you will vacate your office and somebody else will come in. The most important thing is not how you leave your office. It is what you leave in the one taking over from you. President Obama, in his book, The Promised Land, he says that when he was aboard Air Force One for the last time, having served his 2 terms, he had a bittersweet feeling. Sweet in the fact that he was now able to take a break from the rigors of the past 8 years, but bitter because the person who had taken over from him was diametrically opposed to everything that he stood for. Obama will be remembered for Obamacare. That was his legacy. But Donald Trump, who took over from him, had every intention to repeal Obamacare. In other words, Obama's legacy was at stake because of the person who took after him. You see, succession preserves success. You can work hard your entire life, achieve so many things, but the person who comes after you could destroy everything that you built in 1 week. And that's why succession is important. Passing over things that are not subject to decay to the next generation. And how do we plan our succession? Once you get your leadership position, the first act is to find someone who you will mentor. And what is mentorship? Mentorship is acting as an example, as a counselor, as a tutor, as a teacher to somebody else with an aim of producing one greater than yourself. Please note that, producing one greater than yourself. Many leaders are very happy mentoring someone to be a little lower than them, or at best to be just like them. But it takes a maturity in leadership to mentor someone to be greater than yourself. Once you do that, when you mentor someone, then you can comfortably hand over the baton, and you know that your legacy is assured because that person who you mentor will protect your legacy. And guess what? If the succeeding generation succeeds, you get the credit. It's just for your own good that you mentor those who come after you. But many leaders have failed in this aspect of mentorship. Many of them are holding on to position when they took and read their letter of appointment, if it's an organization that read the terms of employment is permanent and pensionable. They took that literally, that they will always be in that position. When they get into the position, they call welders to weld the seat to the floor, and they sit and decide that I'm here to stay permanently, and they will do everything possible to destroy anyone who threatens their position. That is not leadership. Leadership is identifying someone and pouring yourself into them. Pour your vision, pour your passion, pour your energy, pour your values, pour your work ethic to the next person. And that will ensure that your legacy will live long after you have exited the scene. Like Messi, remember, no matter how long you serve, one day you shall live. That's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The most reasonable thing you can do is identify someone, mentor them, so that eventually, like in the 4x100 meters, you can hand over the baton and be sure that the race shall be won.